Yo, what is up? What is up, friends? I am back and I am better than ever. It's your boy Aaron, and this is another episode of not Aaron, Arispe on America. Sorry, I'm coming back to you after taking a day off, man. I needed it. Yesterday I wasn't feeling too hot. But yeah, man, we're here. We're feeling good today. It's a beautiful day. February 19th, 2026. Happy birthday to my sister Riley. Love you. Um, but yeah, man, I just don't really know what I'm gonna talk about today. We don't really got like there's a lot of news, you know what I'm saying? Trump's new board of peace met today for the first time. We can go ahead and cover that. Prince Andrew gets arrested. So that's one of the first arrests of the Epstein files. We'll go ahead and cover that. And we're just here to kind of talk today, man. We're kind of here to just to chat, hang out, bro. I ain't trying to like overly plan shit, you know what I'm saying? But with that being said, man, I don't really got too much time. I got a little bit of time. Shit, I'll be online for about an hour and a half. Anyways, man, let's move on into the news today. Let's move on to what's going on in the world because I don't want you just sitting here listening to me talk about absolutely nothing. So, first and foremost, I got this little video of Tucker Carlson talking out of his ass. Tucker Carlson talks about Nick Fuentes making Piers Morgan look like a dumb boomer and calls it one of the funniest things you'll ever see in your life. This guy right here, I think, is what is his dude's name? I was just looking him up. Fuck. Don't matter. Don't matter what his name is. He's a weirdo. He's like a pastor or some shit, I believe. Yeah, some fucking loser. Anyways, let's watch the video.
So he started attacking my dad, CIA officer. Okay, which enraged me. But I didn't know who he was because I'm 56 and I don't like the internet. So like I didn't know that he became the single most influential. Ask your staff, the most influential podcaster among young men in America.
Right. Correct.
Why is that? Well, part of it's because he's saying true things, in my opinion. He's funny. He's really good at TV. Part of it is he's so forbidden that people seek him out, like pornography. So.
What the hell is this dude even talking about right now, bro? You're stupid, bro. Tucker Carlson, bro, you're a fucking idiot, man. I swear to God. Like, Nick Fuentes is not this, like, enigmatic fucking figure, bro, that we idolize at all, dude. I mean, his fan base, yes, it's quite large, but you act like it's the biggest fucking movement in America since MAGA. Like, dude, shut the fuck up. He's not this interesting figure, bro. He's this hateful and divisive neo-Nazi. That's all he is. He's a piece of shit. A piece of shit young man, 27 years old, that says women have no place other than being fucked in this world. I'll pull up the video in a minute. Fuck this guy, bro. Nick Fuentes is the biggest piece of shit on the planet. Next to like Myron and Sneeko. Fuck all of these stupid motherfuckers, bro. They don't even know how to have a real debate. Anytime that they get pressured, right, their points get pressured in stress tests, they just start raging. And then they go on a rant for like 15 minutes and deflect. And y'all think that these fools are interesting? Bro, he's a fucking incel that's never had sex with a woman. What the fuck are y'all even glorifying? This dude's a loser. Half of you motherfuckers that listen to Nick Fuentes, you're also losers. If you watch Tucker Carlson, you're a fucking loser. Piers Morgan is a fucking loser. All of these dudes, regardless, you're fucking losers. You're cucked. Lame boys. Don't know how to even think for yourselves. You just eat shit up that you see on the internet. You know what I'm saying? This dude literally thinks that Hitler's cool. And you motherfuckers love him. These motherfuckers are over here reading Mein Kampf and have that shit on stream and everything. Like these motherfuckers think that shit's cool, bro. I never knew that it was cool to be a Nazi in this fucking country. I don't know when it happened. When did the transition from being, anti-fascist to pro-fascist happen in this country? I don't get it, And I guess I've kind of covered it before, like with corporatists and capitalists, they're more predictable to lean into authoritarianism, right? To lean into fascism because it protects capital interest. But the everyday person, what the fuck are these people on? I feel like they're not even thinking anymore. Motherfuckers literally just don't think. You know what I'm saying? like they just are spoon fed, you know, information, and then they don't even question it. Anything that the White House is putting out, they believe. Anything that Trump puts out on social media, on True Social and all that shit, they believe. Anything that Pam Bondi says, they believe. Caroline Levitt, all of them. Pete Hegseth, you know what I'm saying? Every single one of them. Fucking Stephen Miller. They just literally like eat this shit up. They eat it up. And even dudes like this, they're like, oh, you know, like, you know, I find Nick Fuentes to be a very enigmatic figure. You know, he's very popular amongst young men. Yeah, he's a popular amongst young men because young men feel like they're losing power, right? Especially young white men feel like they are undermined in society, no longer have representation in any place, right? They feel as if they're the minority and have to take the power back at any cost, right? And no matter the cost. I literally have seen videos of neo Nazis go on and say, well, you know, only white men should be able to make the laws. Only white men should be able to do this. Only white men should do this. We should eradicate the cosmopolitan metropolises that we have right now because y'all have allowed too much immigration here. We have too much diversity here. It doesn't matter that your parents, um, you know, are maybe they were illegal and they came here, you know, and they got their citizenship and then they had you, or even say that they were illegal and they ended up having you. They'll still say that you're not a citizen, right? Because your skin color, because of where you came from, where your parents came from. They only think that there's a certain type of American and they want to preserve, you know, I guess that quote unquote culture that they have. You know what I'm saying? They feel that white people feel as if their culture is being taken from them. Culture, because the culture of America was built on the backs of capitalism and slavery, right? And oppressiveness. You know, it's not like we have like the most moral of histories, right? You know, a lot of our history is dark. A lot of our history is uh, riddled with war and riddled with conflict, revolt, rebellion, revolution. America's history has been violent, not just, you know, in the sense that we go to war all the time, but even here within our nation, there's just been a overwhelming amount of violence since the start of the country. Shit before the country, when motherfuckers came here and started colonizing. Anyways, I'm ranting.
My view was bring them out, let them talk. There's a couple things I really want to say because I feel them so strongly. Anti-Semitism is wrong. If you're beating up on girls, that means you're not a real man. Those are my views.
Right.
He is
But otherwise,
anti-Semitic
just let them
though.
talk. Bring them into the light. Now, I was attacked for that because my job is to display my own moral virtue by saying, what you did is wrong and showing them clips. What, this is disgusting. You made fun of the Holocaust. Da, 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 da. Well, Piers Morgan, who I like, actually not a genius, got roped into this to playing that role. Well, someone needs to scold this young man like he's never been scolded before. Nick Fuentes was canceled in college by Ben Shapiro freshman year, which is probably why he has the views he has.
Don't matter that he was canceled, Tucker. The dude still blew the fuck up. You act like, oh, well, you know, because he was canceled, his whole career suffered. Like, dude, he literally blew the fuck up because of it. You blew him up even more by putting him on your platform. And that's the problem I think a lot of people had is, yes, he's a, you know, popular kick streamer or a popular online podcaster or political commentator. Sure, but you brought him into the professional political world and gave him a platform that more people got to see, more than just, you know, a lot of these Zoomers and these young Gen Z kids who watch Twitch and Kick. You brought his face into the light of older people who would have never have seen his clips, right? Until they had gotten clipped online and put onto like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, etc., right? Um, you put him in the limelight, my friend, and because of that, he got even more attention. He's even more popular than ever, and people like him, Asmongold, Myron, Sneeko are just out there like spreading poison to the minds of young men. And you got men that line up, you know, like out the ass at colleges when these fools come and they come and speak and do their little campus tours and shit just to get affirmations from their favorite political commentator, right? It's like these dudes that have daddy issues. Their favorite fucking idol comes and they just want them to affirm their beliefs. We want you to tell us that we're right. We want you to give us your approval, please, Mr. Myron. Approve me. Please, Mr. Nick, approve me. I want you to approve of what I do and my beliefs because I can't formulate my own. I have to watch them online and I have to listen to people like you to formulate a belief. Fuck out of here, bro. Bunch of fucking mindless and spineless men. Boys. These are little boys that follow these motherfuckers. You're not a man, bro, if you're out there degrading women, if you're out there talking shit about women the way that you do. Women, bro, are, if you want to compare men to women, women are way more divine than fucking men are. And I don't give a fuck if you're religious or you're Christian or you're that or whatever. Life comes from a woman. You can believe in all your fairy tale fucking theocracy shit if that's what you want to do, but at the end of the day, life comes from women. Women are more beautiful than men. Men naturally are disgusting, bro. We're ugly, foul creatures that are just violent and destructive. Women give life. Women water life, nurture life. Women sustain life, create life. They are the creators, right? And you just disrespect women. Nick Fuentes always is talking shit about women. I can probably go on my Twitter feed after this video and find 10 videos of him talking shit about women and saying how women have no place and how all women are whores and how all women just want a dude that looks like this and wants that. Bro, have you ever talked to a woman? Have you actually ever had a conversation with a real woman in your life? Obviously, you have not, because your worldview of how women are is completely diluted. You're delusional, my friend. It's fucking ridiculous. Like, these dudes have never left their basement, it seems. They've never left their basement and stopped playing video games and actually had a one-on-one interaction with a woman. Had a conversation with her and talked to her. Most dudes don't even like to listen, right? They'll just fucking passively listen to a woman. Most men don't sit there and actually take in all the information and reciprocate with questions, right? And actually have a conversation that goes back and forth. They don't actually dialogue with women. Especially nowadays, bro. It seems like more than ever, men don't know how to speak to women. And then there's a rising single man epidemic. Nah, bro, it's because men just spend all day watching fucking Nick Fuentes and playing video games and jacking off all day. That they don't know how to go and speak to a girl. They're afraid. Fucking losers, bro. Grow the fuck up. Follow motherfuckers that teach you how to be like a man, bro. Not Andrew Tate and all these motherfucking loser boys, bro. These guys are fucking clowns. Fucking clowns. I grew up around all these kinds of men, bro. I literally hung around 40-year-olds that were fucking giving me beer and fucking weed and all kinds of drugs when I was like 14, 13. These dudes are pure losers that hang out with kids. Andrew Tate is like 40 years old hanging out with fucking clavicular, bro. That's odd. Going out there and doing who the fuck knows what. These dudes are pure clowns. And they just say whatever is popular amongst the haters of the world, right? It's like Trump, right? He literally, when he first was campaigning, was talking about all the issues, but then you motherfuckers wanted to hear about barring out the gays and abortions and trannies. You wanted to go against all of them. They were all problems, right? So he started speaking on it. He's like, well, you know, I was trying to talk about the housing issue, and then y'all went crazy when I talked about trans rights. You know, so he started hounding on the issues. He started going harder on those issues because you loved it, because you hating ass motherfuckers just want to hear somebody affirm your disgusting beliefs. That's it. That's all you people care about. That's all these motherfuckers give two shits about.
Nice job, Ben. But so he comes out there. Piers Morgan's like,
You gotta like
Ben
ramp
Shapiro,
yourself up, man.
how dare you?
You piss me off,
Rather,
man.
Nick Fuentes, how dare you? And Nick Fuentes laughs in his face, takes him apart, is hilarious, destroyed him, because here's a 27-year-old kid who's like with it, knows what's going on. Here's this older boomer lecturing him. The upshot of, if you watch my interview, you do not think Nick Fuentes was enhanced. No one actually watched it because they're busy calling me a Nazi because they don't like J.D. Vance, so they don't want him to be the Republican nominee. That's what it's actually about, of course. But if you watch,
It's like a water polo game. It's everything's going on underneath the surface.
trust me, it's politics, dude. You know, it's sinister. It's the Ottoman court. But if you watch the Piers Morgan interview, you're like, Piers Morgan doesn't even know, his ass from his elbow. And here's this Nick Fuentes just like laughing in his face. He's hilarious. And you're like, is he diminished by this? No, he's greatly enhanced.
He's laughing because that's what these people do. And I'm not saying that I'm supporting the Piers Morgan interview. I don't like Piers Morgan. I think he's a fucking loser as well. He's a fucking cuck boy. Anyways, but when you just like laugh in people's faces and you just like he went on there and trolled Piers Morgan. He knew how Piers Morgan was going to react, so he just responded in the same way that all these fools do. They deflect and then they antagonize, right? That's all they do. And because of that, they appear strong. They appear to have the strong argument, but in fact, they have the weak one. But because the other guy, Piers Morgan, or anybody who's arguing or debating with them gets upset and reveals his hand, he ends up looking weak. He ends up being the one with the weak argument, right? And then people like Nick Fuentes can come in and they end up winning. They have nothing to stand on. No ground, right? And they end up still looking like the winner. Why? Because they literally just troll. They're grifters. Grade A grifters, bro. When you're a grade A grifter, bro, you can literally fucking advance your way all the way to the presidency like Trump did. By BSing.
So don't fall
by
for
bullshitting.
It, that's what I would have said if Piers had asked
Dude
me.
spit bullshit their whole lives, man.
Don't do that. You're playing into his
feel
own
me?
game. Here's dad showing up being like, why are you listening to that darn rock music? And the kid's like, shut up, Pops. You don't understand. You know what I mean? Like, who wins? Not dad.
Bro, you're old too, bro.
It's
You're
truly,
old too.
it's Elvis on Ed Sullivan.
You don't even know what
do
you're
we have to
talking about.
keep relearning the same lessons?
Okay. So if one of the
Back me up, gentlemen.
yeah, they're supposed to keep quiet.
I'm looking.
I'm not sure if I'm right on this or if I'm wrong on this, but I think this is the loser right here. This fat guy right here. Sorry, guys. I need to probably censor myself a little bit better. Anyways, this guy literally said because Jesus was friends with like thieves and murderers, which is why I am friends with pedophiles. Come on, bro. I don't give a fuck whether Jesus did this or Jesus did that, bro. If you are out there sexually assaulting, trafficking, molesting, raping children, fuck you. Right? Go to prison. Fuck, dude, that's like being nice, bro. Because the libertarian deep down inside of me wants me to hang your ass up by your fucking neck and string you and have everybody watch. Fuck that shit, bro. You're over there taking fucking innocence away from children. I have read some crazy ass things from the files, bro. I've read things about little girls feeling safe around Jesus, so they ended up somebody dressed like Jesus and fucked her. That's crazy. I've seen articles and documents about girls who are cut up, bloodied up, and just scratched with scars all over, and men surrounding them with fucking fists inside of her, bro. Like, these are little girls. These are little children. I don't care if some of them were 14 to 17. That's still fucked up. But regardless, they were freaking harming children. Children. I've seen people justify, well, some of them were 17, that's a consensual age. Fuck that shit. Those are little girls. Little girls. When I was 17, bro, I didn't know my fucking hand from my ass, bro. I was a stupid fucking motherfucker. I thought I knew everything, right? Until the world slapped me in my jaw. You right? Put me in the ring. Sparred me a little bit. Showed me how the real world operated. And I was like, fuck, man. This shit's no joke. 17, you're a baby, bro. You're still in high school. That's weird, bro. That's odd. Regardless of this or that, these men need to be held accountable. These men need to be going to prison. These men need to go to jail. I can't stand it, bro. And you're over here, like, literally, like, glazing a 27-year-old that loves Epstein, that sells the quarter zip on his website, that goes on and defends Epstein, says Epstein's cool, says, hey, well, 14 to 17, that's not pedophilia, but y'all are not ready for that conversation. Bro, shut the fuck up, bro. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Bitch Fuentes.
need them for affirmation because they're all young men, and they're like, "You go."
Nick Fuentes is
Tucker
an actual
Carlson.
anti-Semite.
I told him that. I mean, I
He
got
is
nothing
an
to do with that. I
anti-Semite.
told him I'm against it, which I am.
Yeah, cool.
But clearly, yelling at the kid makes him stronger.
Yeah, that's.
You should watch that Piers Morgan interview. It's one of the funniest things you've ever seen in your life. He has no idea what's happening.
There's a German word that prevents me from doing that. It's called Fremdschämen, which is the agonizing feeling you have when someone should be humiliated for himself, but somehow it's not.
I love that. Fremdschämen?
Fremdschämen. Fremdschämen was when you, and my whole family has this affliction when someone is just making a total mess and they don't know that they're making a total mess. It's just, ugh.
I may have a little bit of that.
All right.
I should be more ashamed than I am.
Sorry, I got some email from my school. Fucking losers, bro. Fucking losers. I don't like these guys, man. I don't know, man. These dudes are literally fucking plague.
Trump's press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, seems to be losing her spark. She has stuck with Trump through thick and thin, and inversed reality on the worst days of this administration.
Yeah, sorry, that video is 10 minutes long. I ain't watching that. A memorial of Christian Gnome's dog has been erected in Chicago. For all you Hassan haters that got like MAGA fucking hats in your profile and like love this administration, y'all hate Hassan because he apparently quote unquote shocked his dog, but you people love Christy Gnome. This bitch fucking killed her dog. Ugh. Fake priest.
We had 1,000 people show up. I can't tell you, and I just got done with a packed rally here in Central Texas. We had 1,000 people show up. I can't tell you how many folks came up to me after the event and whispered, "I'm not a Democrat," like it's some kind of secret. And we're seeing that all over the state. It's independents, it's some Republicans, it's some Trump voters who are really fed up with what they're seeing in Washington.
You know, I was saying the other day, man, you know, in Texas, bro. And this is just how Texas is, man. You know, and in no way, shape, form, or fashion are these my personal beliefs. I'm just addressing the way that shit is here. When you have two candidates, Jasmine Crockett and James Tallarico, going up against John Cornyn or Ken Paxton, I think that the Republicans are more fearful of James Tallarico than they are of Jasmine Crockett. Jasmine Crockett is already in the House. They're already very familiar with Jasmine Crockett, and they know how she's going to already act, right? James Tallarico, he's still kind of somebody that's not really known. And I think what scares Republicans is he almost embodies what they claim to be, right? This, you know, good-hearted American that looks out for the working class, that's, you know, by the book and has good Christian values. It scares Republicans who are these fake Christians that use it right, just to push their narratives, because when somebody like this gets real attention, it shows what a real Christian is. It shows what a real politician is, what a real anti-corrupt, trust, anti-monopoly, all of that politician is. And it scares the shit out of politicians who protect the elite. Because, if you know a little bit of history, man, politicians and criminal organizations and criminal elite have always been intertwined, especially here in America. That's just known knowledge, right? So when you have somebody like this who literally looks like a Republican, but is not a Republican and can hold Republicans accountable, they're scared of that shit. I'm telling you, even if Crockett seems like the stronger candidate, I'm telling you that the Republicans in here in Texas, they want to see Crockett go against whoever, Cornyn or Paxton, in November, because they feel like they already know Texas voters won't go for a quote unquote black woman, because a lot of Texas is fucking racist as shit still, right? We only got a couple of blue areas throughout the state. You know, this is a state that still has, you know, sunset counties, known sunset towns. So when you factor in that and how big Texas is and how much it's gerrymandered, when you throw a black woman into the mix like Jasmine Crockett, as much as I love her and as much as I like the way that she fights, these racist fucks are gonna be like, no, we're not gonna let her in there. Fuck that. I don't give a shit if it's Jeffrey Epstein. I'll vote for him. You know, that's the logic of some of these conservatives, bro. They'll literally say, I would vote for Hitler over Kamala Harris if that was the choice that I had been given. I've seen videos of people saying it. So these people, I guarantee you, bro, if it was between those two, they'd go Cornyn or Paxton. Even with if it was Paxton, bro, they would go with the corrupt motherfucker all day versus the prosecutor who holds corrupt people accountable. That's the mindset of racists. Because they see color and because they see it's also not just racism, it's patriarchy and misogyny even within women. Some women don't feel like women deserve to be in politics or run the country or do this or do that. Complete bullshit. Just because you're a woman, one, doesn't give you the right to say another woman shouldn't run the country or run for politics. And then two, because you're a female does not make you any less intelligent than a man. That's just complete utter nonsense. Fucking foolish. But anyways, you have these racists and these misogynists all throughout the state that would rather see a corrupt politician as the senator than to see somebody who is anti-corruption and holds them accountable simply due to their gender and their race. That's just how Texas is. It's how the South is. Maybe it won't be like that in the next coming 20 to 30 years. Shit, maybe even sooner. But right now, that's still kind of how it is throughout the state. And you know, that sucks, you know, and a lot of people, they don't realize that. Most people don't even know what a sunset town is. If you don't know what a sunset town is, people, it's basically the second the sun goes down, if you're a person of color, you better have your ass inside, right? I've told a story about being stuck in Hamilton, Texas, you know, because I got sick. Me and my wife purposely did not stay at that hospital overnight because it was a sunset county and she was fearful because my wife is Hispanic. And, you know, there's just a lot of racism going on against Latinos right now. So, you know, they were already treating my wife like shit and looking at her fucking stupid and not being nice to her. They were treating me like dirt and everything, you know, so we got our asses out of there. And there are plenty of places that are worse. You know, Hyco, Texas. Go look up Hyco, Texas. People know about that. If you're a trucker, you know about it, right? That place it's not somewhere to be past a certain time. And like I said, when you still have places like that throughout Georgia, throughout Louisiana, throughout Alabama, throughout Texas, it's hard for me to sit here and realistically say that people are going to look past that. Or they're going to look past their racism and put somebody in power who will actually hold these people accountable, because I know they won't. I've lived around racists my whole life, you know, and these motherfuckers are not willing to give a little. You know what I'm saying? I told you they would much rather give it, and this goes to racists too, you know, not just capitalists. They would much rather deal with authoritarians. They would rather deal with tyrants and corrupt motherfuckers all day than to deal with something that's unfamiliar to them.
Washington, but it's also a lot of new voters, a lot of young people, first-time voters who are showing up at our events and saying it's the first political event they've ever attended. So there is something happening in Texas.
It was my first political event that I attended as well, and I've, you know, I'm 29, so just let that shit sink in, you know what I'm saying? He's the first politician that I was like, all right, I feel like I could get behind him. I could get behind what he has to say. Let's see what Rubio had to say, this Board of Peace thing.
I'll be brief and to the point. We want to talk a little bit about the strategic vision of this organization and begin doing so by first acknowledging that we are here today because the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
This guy got some big ass
has
ears,
both
man.
an ability and a willingness to use the power of his office to think outside the box. And that's why we're here today. This was a very unique crisis in Gaza.
Sorry.
One that the existing international institutions could not solve or figure out. It needed a very specific type solution that required the partnership of all the nations that are here, including those that are here on an observer status. And we appreciate you coming today and being a part of this as well. And that's the point I want to drive home today. And soon you'll hear from Steve and Jared, who, by the way, deserve an incredible amount of credit for pulling this together and working countless hours and traveling all over the world. They truly deserve our appreciation and thanks for the work they've put in under the leadership of President Trump to make this possible. This Gaza situation was impossible to solve under orthodoxy, under existing structures. And so what we did is they went to the UN, and they got the UN's approval to put this group together and bring these nations together to come up with a very specific solutions to a very unique and specific problem. We have a long ways to go. There's a lot of work that remains. It will require the contribution of every nation state represented here today, and we thank you for being a part of it. And we hope that this can serve as a model for other complex and difficult situations so they can be solved in the same way. But right now the focus is on this one. We have to get this right. There is no plan B for Gaza. Plan B is going back to war. No one here wants that. Plan A, the only path forward, is one that rebuilds Gaza in a way of enduring and sustainable peace where everyone can live there side by side with one another and never worry again about returning to conflict, to war, to human suffering, and to destruction. And again, Mr. President, thank you for having the vision and the courage to pursue something that has never been done before, and we're not done yet. And thank you to Steve Woodcock and Jared Kushner for the time and the work they put into this. And thank you on behalf of the State Department and the U.S. government to all of the nations that are here. Every one of you is indispensable, including our observer partners, who we hope can find your way to join us at some point as officially part of this. But we are grateful for the fact you're here today and the contributions you've made already. Thank you.
It sounds like a bunch of political mumbo jumbo, bro. Anyways, just a quick little side note here. President Trump held his first meeting at his new International Board of Peace in Washington, pitching it as a body to coordinate Gaza relief and global conflict resolution with partner countries. The initiative claims around $7 billion in pledges and contributions from several states, though the total falls far short of reconstruction needs. Many European allies and the Vatican declined participation, and critics argue that the board lacks clear legitimacy, bypasses established institutions like the United Nations, and could function as a political platform for Trump's domestic goals. This effort illustrates the administration's attempting to shape global governance narratives while undercutting existing multilateral frameworks. Yeah, man, they're really just trying to take over the world at this point. These motherfuckers are trying to enter a new age of imperialism, dude. I told you that. They got global ambitions here, dude. Why else would they be doing all of what they're doing right now? I mean, they're completely undermining the rest of the world powers for what? What's the end game here? You have to ask yourself what it is, right? What else do we have? What else is going on in the world?
Hillary Clinton is because they're trying to distract from the fact that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files thousands and thousands of times. In those files, there's highly disturbing allegations of Donald Trump raping children, of Donald Trump threatening to kill children. So I encourage your press to go look at these allegations. And I'm highly disturbed that Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche just got the law wrong. Yesterday, he said, essentially, that it is not
How
a
could
crime to party
how
with
could you
Jeffrey
be
Epstein.
so blindly loyal to somebody? So blindly loyal because of money that you justify and protect a man who has been accused of murdering children, killing babies, killing women, raping children. How do you protect a monster like that? Where does your morality lie? How do you have a cross on your fucking neck and you go out there and you defend the devil? How?
Well, that's actually not correct. If Jeffrey Epstein was human trafficking minors for these sex parties, and you show up and patronize the establishment at that party, yes, you're guilty, because patronizing is part of the law, of the federal sex trafficking law. So Deputy General Todd Blanche just got that wrong, which maybe explains why they aren't investigating all these folks, including Donald Trump. He needs to read the law and investigate these people. He also needs to resign, not only for not knowing the law, but a massive, not only screw up, but the biggest privacy violation in history. They release a lot of pictures of minors unredacted, just violated the privacy of these girls.
Why would, and that's the thing, they'll redact the names of elite men, right? Of elite capitalists, corporatists, or just elite officials all over the world. They'll redact those names, they'll black out those names, and they'll protect those people, and they will black out their photos. But what they will not do is black out and redact the photos of naked children being molested, minors being solicited for sex. Those were not redacted. The names of women who were victims and survivors were not redacted. But they redacted the names of the elite. Why? The DOJ is supposed to be representing the victims, the survivors, and they're protecting the people who committed the crime. I think that me, you, and the rest of the world are fucking tired of seeing politicians protect pedophiles and elite individuals who commit heinous crimes. I am. Shit.
It is uncalled for what they did.
Yo,
The
yo,
one
yo,
thing
what's up?
that they could not do.
How you
under this
doing there,
law
bro?
was
Hey,
to
Hoy
invade the
13.
privacy,
What you
of
doing?
these
You
women
still here, bro?
now who were girls at the time who were victims of sex trafficking. Also, he met with Ghislaine Maxwell, moved her to a minimum security prison, and then got a puppy for her. So for all those reasons, he's just got to leave the Department of Justice.
100%, bro. Blanche, Bondi, all of them, bro. They need to go. They need to like gut the entire
So
DOJ, bro. I'm telling you, gut the DOJ. Gut it. Dismantle the motherfucker. Let's re-establish the entirety of the DOJ because every single one of these motherfuckers is corrupt as shit, bro. I am so sick and tired of corrupt people in politics. You know, it might have gotten, like, people could have gotten away with it back in the day, right? Like 100 years ago, blah, 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 when shit wasn't so much in our face. But nowadays, we get so much news, so much updated coverage on what's going on, right? That you can't hide it from us. You can't just act corrupt and do corrupt things and get away with it anymore. That kind of shit is gone, bro. Those days are gone. You can't just expect us to stay complacent to your corruption every single day, bro, and not ever get outraged by it.
Could also see.
What does this fucking weirdo have to say? What do you got to say,
I think
Raphael?
That's exactly right. We are at an extraordinary moment in history. It is entirely possible, Sean, that in the next 6 months, we will see the regimes fall in Iran, in Venezuela, and in Cuba. And we could also see governments replace them that want to be friends with the United States of America. Now, let me be clear. I'm not being Pollyannish about this. There are 1,000 things that can go wrong. But if that happens, this would be the most consequential geopolitical shift since the fall of the Berlin Wall, since America won the Cold War without firing a shot. I spoke with President Trump the day before yesterday. And
So right now, y'all are fighting a war right now as well. All of these countries that you're talking about, Iran, Venezuela, Cuba, you sanction them and embargo them and make life so hard for the civilians that there's unrest. Y'all realize that everything that happened in Iran, right? All of the protests that led to thousands of people dying in the streets was a result of U.S. sanctions on Iran to play ball because they wouldn't, because they're too independent. Venezuela wanting its independence, Cuba wanting its independence. I am not saying that these regimes by any means are good regimes. But because the regimes don't want to play ball with America the way that America wants them to, because they don't give in to the American global cartel, we sanction them and embargo them into hell, into oblivion, to the point where their societies can't operate properly, to the point where people get so upset that this kind of shit happens, right? So no, we don't fight wars by some firing a shot. We do it by starving out the people, by not allowing them to have the resources that they need. by literally making life so fucking hard for the everyday person that they end up in going and revolting against their government, because it's okay for other countries that you don't agree with for their people to go and overthrow their government, but you would never dare allow the American people 1 second to feel like they have that right to do it to this administration or the government, period. Fucking
We talked in
bitches.
particular about Iran, and I said this moment the regime is teetering.
Shut up.
That the United States is going to make a contribution of $10 billion to the Board of Peace.
$10 billion to the Board of Peace, huh?
And we've had great
An
support.
illegitimate Board of Peace that has a bunch of like the most corrupt countries in the planet on the fucking playing ball.
Number. And that number is a very small number when you look at that compared to the cost of war.
Told you it's easier to control dictators, guys.
2 weeks of fighting.
Easier to control authoritarians.
It's a very small number. It sounds like a lot, but it's a very small number. So we're committed to $10 billion. Together we can achieve the dream of bringing
Bunch of far right wing politicians, world leaders here at this motherfucking event. Bunch of the world's biggest pieces of shit. So now Trump is unilaterally committing $10 billion of U.S. taxpayer money to an offshore entity that he controls and is the lifelong chairman of. He is robbing American blind, and about 1/3 of the country is too stupid to see it. 100%. You motherfuckers don't think it's weird that he's the lifelong chairman of his own Board of Peace and that he's using taxpayer money? Look at this. Told you, bro. The world's most corrupt leaders here, buddy. Why the music?
We have to smile. A lot of good things.
All right.
Does everybody like the music? Yeah, it's a perfect song. That's good music.
What the fuck is this? Bro, cornballs. These guys are power. These guys represent power in this world. Clowns. Shit is goofy. Goofy goobers, guys. Goofy goobers.
Meaningless.
Well,
What's its strategic importance other than that? Are there trade routes that go through it? Do they have a ton of oil we need? Like, what is this? You're like, well, we have to be more closely allied with Israel than in their country. It's like, well, why? And no one can answer you. Well, because they're threatened. Well, so are a lot of countries. They're not alone in having neighbors that don't like them. But why is that my problem?
the people who don't like them, the Muslims, surrounding Muslim countries, are also people who don't like us. And Muslims.
Who specifically? Which government are you talking about?
Okay, that's the government of Dearborn, Michigan.
What, dude?
You know, a lot of the Muslims in Dearborn are Christian. I mean, a lot of the Arabs in
The
Michigan
government
are
of Dearborn Christian. My guy, that's a fucking city, bro. I mean, I guess you could call it the government of Dearborn. I mean, yes, there's a city government, but dude, you literally we were talking about countries in the Middle East that are threatening Israel. And then you reference Dearborn, Michigan because it has a high concentration of Islamic citizens, when there's still an overwhelming majority of Christian citizens as well there. These types of people, bro, they claim to be Christian, right? This dude's a pastor, while spreading divisive and hateful propaganda.
just like
Let's
in
see what
point
he
of
has to
fact.
say.
And I'm okay with them because they're fellow Christians, even though they look
Got it.
different. But I rate that against the actual threats.
But think of it this way. I've seen the England, and currently every major city in England is governed, it has a Muslim mayor. Their immigration policy has been disastrous, like ours.
Do you know every single mayor of every European city? Every large European city. Can we fact check that? Can we fact check that? Ass. Dude, it literally, I can't stand when people say all or everyone. Let's see what he says exactly. What does he say?
In England is
Threats?
Well, think of it this way. I've seen the England and currently every major city in England.
Currently, every major city in England. So his claim is that currently every major city in England. Well, we're going to fact check that. Is almost every major English city ran by a Islamic mayor? No, this claim is false. Some major English cities have had Muslim mayors, but almost every is not remotely accurate. London, sure. Manchester, sure. West Midlands, Liverpool, Leeds, blah, blah, blah. Only a small number of high-profile English mayoralties have been held by Muslim politicians, most notably in London. The majority of major English cities are not led by Muslim mayors. Come on. What the hell are these kind of dudes talking about, bro? These kind of why is it being framed this way? I'm telling you, they literally like they spew bullshit to fit their narrative. It doesn't even make sense, and most people are not willing to fact check them or hold them accountable or call them out whenever they are literally talking out of their ass.
Is governed, it has a Muslim mayor. Their immigration policy has been disastrous, like ours. Someone could argue, as I would, that the Muslims who are threatening Israel
He goes crazy for that
are
shit.
Muslims who are threatening us. Islam is a greater threat than the Jews.
Yeah, is the problem with
Bro's like,
the
no,
Muslims of
dude,
Europe
dude. Don't say
they're
that.
too Muslim,
Don't say that.
or that they're criminals?
I'm a Mossad agent, bro.
I mean,
Stop.
That's the same thing.
Yeah, it's not.
freaks
though,
out, bro,
actually.
every time that I
And
say that
it's not.
shit.
And
No, the
I mean,
Muslim bro-
they're-
the
then
Muslim-
Let
the
me ask
Muslim-
you this, and I'm totally not for Islam. Okay, I'm a Christian. Why are there twice as many Christians living in Qatar as there are in Israel?
You know, for all of you Muslim haters out there, if you're Christian and a Muslim hater, people of the Islamic faith do believe in Jesus Christ. They call him Isa. He's the second most renowned prophet in the entirety of the Quran. So most of you hate somebody, a whole group of people who actually recognize Jesus Christ as being an extremely important figure of the entirety of the Bible or the Quran or the Torah, right? But the Jewish people completely reject the ideas and the teachings and the divinity of Jesus Christ. The entire state of Israel rejects the idea of Jesus Christ. They spit upon his name. We are goyim. We are nothing to them. We are Gentiles. We believe in a false god. We've got it wrong in their eyes. They do not think that me or you follow the same faith that they follow, even if the Old Testament is literally just the Torah. The fact that we believe in the Holy Trinity makes us pagan to them. So why do you hate Islamic people so much? Why is there such a huge uproar and what's the word? An outrage for the Islamic population here in America, and not any outrage for the Jewish population. The second that you say something that's against Jewish people, it's anti-Semitic. When in fact, hating upon Islam people it's anti-Semitic in itself, right? Because most people that are in Israel are Polish descent. They're not even Semitic. Let's just be real. That's the facts. That's the truth. Why? Why do y'all have hatred for these people so much?
Do you think?
Twice as many Christians in Qatar as
In Qatar,
Because
yeah,
it
the
gets
Islamic
clicks.
slave state
Yeah.
that we hear so much about, but there are twice as many Christians living there as in Israel, and they can leave if they want. They came freely, but there are twice as many in Qatar. Why do you think
can
that
they build
is?
churches?
Yeah, actually, the state gave them the land for their churches, but But why is that if what you're saying is true? Because it's not true, actually. The reality that you experience when you get outside the American media biosphere is so different, the reality, from what you're describing. The second question I want to ask is, how do we get all these Muslims here after 9/11? They all came after 9/11.
By the way, people, I think the Muslim population is only like 1% in America.
Who encouraged that? Exactly.
Not even.
Who encouraged that? And it's a
So
lot.
this takeover that y'all claim that they're doing, this invasion on American soil, is bullshit, bro. They don't even make 1% of the country. Same thing for illegal immigrants. Fucking
Are the
idiots.
same people who are now encouraging us to hate Muslims.
Dumb
ADL.
Oh, ADL.
Completely for that. They encourage that. So what is that? But I know that the same
Right.
people who are like, Islam is the problem, are the same people who brought us all these Muslims here.
Right, because
I feel like I'm being played a little bit. That's all I'm saying.
yeah, I agree with that.
The same people crying anti-Semitism constantly, telling me I can't have free speech rights because there's anti-Semitism, are the same people telling us that we have to hate Muslims because they're Muslim.
Well,
And
not
how
'cause-
is hating Muslims better than hating Jews?
Yeah, it's not.
Exactly.
If you,
that
hate
question.
Muslims because they're Muslim, that's
The same as hating Jews because they're Jewish.
yeah, correct.
I'm out.
But if you
100%.
if you are opposed to Muslims,
That's what I mean. There's some points where I'm like, all right, Tucker Carlson, I guess I agree with you. Yeah. And this is what I've said on my other podcast. I can't stand that sometimes I agree with these fuckers. And there are other times where I'm just like, shut the fuck up, bro. Shut the fuck up. Fuck you and shut the fuck up. Because you over here and you just talking out your ass now. But there are other times where he holds motherfuckers like this accountable where I do appreciate.
who have read the Quran, which I've done.
This dude's a
couple
fucking
times. I read
idiot
through
right
the
here on the
Quran.
right.
Yeah.
Also, this motherfucker right here was invited to, I believe, like by Pete Hegseth to the Pentagon this morning to have like a morning prayer or morning worship. So this dude's a complete piece of shit as well. He's completely MAGA coded.
And the Muslim Brotherhood,
MAGA
the people,
bitch.
the
MAGA
jihadis,
priest.
Right?
are not
Sell out.
twisting the Quran.
Fucking cuck.
I'm sure I wouldn't know. I'm not an
They are
expert.
being consistent with it, and I see them as a far greater threat to the West than the state of Israel is, and so protecting Israel from Muslims, you could argue, is a roundabout way of protecting. It's a proxy.
How's that work for us?
The
So
proxy
we
war.
went to war in Iraq in March of 2003 at the behest of Israel, flat out. Bibi said it. Glad you're doing it. And I don't know. There's no debate about that. And then in the years since, we've gotten millions of Muslims in the United States, millions since the Iraq War.
Yeah.
So how's that program worked out for us? We didn't have any Muslims in the United States when I was growing up.
Yeah.
And as our support for Israel has become more and more fanatical, which it is, it's fanatical. Can't even discuss it. Anti-Semite. We've gotten more Muslims. So I don't think this works the way that we think it does.
Right. I think that the whole system at the top is demented.
Yeah, you think?
But that doesn't change the facts on the ground. We've got the problem that we have in Dearborn is a problem that London has and a bunch of other UK cities have.
I would argue that because we are involved militarily and on many other levels in the Middle East, at the behest of Israel, we're there because of Israel. We have an air base in Qatar because of Israel. We've all these troops there because of Israel.
We like have an air base in Idaho. Qatari, if the deal goes
But
through.
why is that? Because Israel bombed Doha because they were doing a peace. We were doing a peace negotiation with Hamas. Why is it our job? Why is
it our
any of
job?
this our job?
Why is it our
we've
job?
invaded the world and then we've imported the world.
It's not our
the-
job.
it
I'm
happened in
so
Britain.
tired of it
That's
being
why
of
they got
America
immigration
trying
in the
to
60s.
police the world, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just focus on America, man. Let's stop trying to fix what's going on in Gaza. Let's stop trying to fix what's going on in the Middle East. Let's stop trying to police the world. And let's focus on building up our country's infrastructure. Let's focus on making America truly great again. That's what this party said that they were going to do, right? They were supposed to make America great. As if it wasn't great before. I don't know when it ever did not become great. If it didn't, if it ever lost its greatness, it was the second that MAGA took office. You know what I'm saying? They literally have crumbled the greatness of the American name, the democracy, of democracy. That's just my personal opinion. But God damn it, bro. Like, why are y'all not trying to help the country? Like, y'all, yes, maybe the Dow is up and this is up, but what about the country? Why are there other countries that look more futuristic than ours do? Why are we behind? I feel like we are behind a little bit. We literally are not putting money into the places that we should be putting money into. Instead, we're going to put $10 billion into the Board of Peace, and we could be allocating that money into doing other things in this country. But we don't have money for those programs, right? We don't have money for all of these social programs, and, you know, that's just leeching off of the government. But the government has billions upon billions of dollars to bail out other governments left and motherfucking right all day long because it protects American interests and American fucking capital investments within those motherfucking countries. Let's not fucking act like the bailouts at goddamn Argentina last year wasn't because their fucking government was their economy was about to tank, and their economy had been bailed out previously by America like fucking a couple years back, and it's literally it was backed by a whole bunch of Americans had a bunch of bonds held inside of the Argentinian economy. So if the Argentinian economy was to have tanked last year, right, then those capitalists here in America, the investors, would have basically lost all their money on the bonds. Because their bonds have to sit there. They got to let them appreciate. They can't do anything with it. It would literally render them useless. So we had to bail out our buddies. So we have money to protect the capitalists here in America. We have the money to protect the 1%. We have the money to take care of the elites, but we don't have the money to take care of the little guy.
Because their empire was coming down, and they're like, oh, you're from Barbados, you're from Nigeria, those were British colonies, you move here.
Right.
And we're doing the same thing. So how about we don't have actual interests in the Middle East other than oil. Let's just pull back because this is destroying our country, what the Israeli government is doing in Gaza, which is totally indefensible as far as I'm concerned. How about let the kids leave? No.
Fucking
How about let food in? No. You have the most precise munitions in the world, but you're blowing up Christian churches and schools and hospitals? Tell me why you're doing that. What the Israeli government is doing in Gaza is terrorism and unconscionable. No one denies that tens of thousands of children have been killed in Gaza. It's just an absolute fact.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of people on the right that hate Palestinians and hate anybody who's Islamic and justifies what Israel is doing, but they're also blowing up Catholic and Christian churches. Let that be known that there are also Catholic and Christian churches in the region, and Catholics and Christians are also persecuted in Israel.
I visited some of their surviving siblings last week, and all of a sudden people are like, it doesn't matter if the kids get killed, or they blow up 2 churches in Gaza.
Were there tunnels underneath
They
them?
never claimed there were tunnels underneath.
No, I'm just asking.
No, but it's like insane. And by the way, if there were tunnels underneath, sorry, you still can't blow up a Christian church when all your money's coming from a majority Christian country. Sorry, there are limits on what you can do.
Okay.
Right. You're literally getting weapons and getting funding from the biggest Christian nation in the entire planet, and then you go kill Christians, and then Christians here in America have no moral outrage.
Look, anybody who's out there trying to squelch criticism of Israel, ask, is it like regrettable, sad, maybe even immoral to kill someone, a child who did nothing wrong? And if you can't say that, then we're just operating from different worlds. I'm sorry. Why can't you say that? Why is that so threatening to say, probably not a good idea to kill a child? They will not say that, and they much less apologize for it. Why bomb churches in Gaza? Tell me. You've got the capacity to put
churches
bombs
and
in people's
hospitals.
pagers,
Why?
You accidentally hit 2 churches? Not an accident.
That's war
How about
crime
you
shit.
ask for our forgiveness? Israel has not allowed food aid into 2 million people. There's no infrastructure whatsoever. There's no business. They flattened 70% of it. We know that from satellite photos. And so what is that? Their entire country is dependent on U.S. taxpayer dollars. There would be no wars fought by Israel alone because it's got 9 million people and no resources. They have a reserve military. They don't have enough people. A huge chunk of their country doesn't work, but no one can admit it. They all have to lie about everything. If Israel does stuff that I despise, my view is I don't want to pay for that, okay?
Right.
Get out of my country. Stop trying to censor me. Go do your own thing in your own Eastern country, which is not Western, sorry.
The West Bank, the conflict there is not caused by Israel holding the West Bank. Israel holds the West Bank because of the conflict. What? So when Israel was formed, the next day or whatever it was, they were invaded. So a lot of what the Israel has.
Well, the West Bank was taken by Israel in 1967 from Jordan.
Right.
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 So Israel proper, the West Bank is what we used to call an occupied territory. Now they have a new name for it. A lot of Israelis used to say, like, we've got Gaza, we said Golan Heights, and we've got what we call the West Bank. and those are what we call the occupied territories. Are majority Arab, majority Muslim Arab. There were tons of Christians, fewer now. But yeah, what do you do with that? You can't call yourself a democracy if they don't have full citizenship, but you can't give them full citizenship because then they'll vote you out.
Fucking motherfuckers. Pieces of shit, bro. I'm sorry, man. These motherfuckers, I can't stand. I'm not even gonna get into the whole Israel thing right now. We could, bro. We could really go there, bro. We could go there. But we probably shouldn't. We probably shouldn't. People are not personally profiting from this. Shut up, bitch. Oh, yeah. The world, man, the world. I don't even know how to feel about all of that. I'm so tired of the hatred for Islamic people here in America. I go to school with a large population of Islamic people, and I mean, they're some of the nicest people that I've ever met in my life. You know, they're not doing anything wrong to anybody. They're not hurting anyone. They're not out there saying that, you know, Christians are pieces of shit. Christians deserve to die. Christians don't belong. This, and that. But you definitely will see Christians with signs saying that Islams are evil. Islamic people are disgusting. Islamic people are animals. Islamic people are invading our country and can't fit in with Western society or Western values. It's okay for Christians to do it, but it's not okay for Islamic people to do it. I don't get it. Why don't leftists have a problem? Why don't leftists have a problem with Islam? It's quite literally one of the most brutal religions against women, gay people, other religions. Very low on tolerance. I genuinely don't get it. You know, bro? Because at the end of the day, man, people are allowed to practice whatever faith they want to practice. Even with Christians, there's plenty of Christians that are hateful, misogynistic, and oppressive towards women, towards gay people, and towards other religions. Very many Christians who are also quite literally like this. And I don't try to tell them how they could live or how they should be operating. All I tell them is stop trying to make it policy. You're entitled to feel however you want to feel. Islam, Hindu, Christian, this, that, atheist. Believe whatever the fuck you want to believe. Hate whoever you want to hate. Right? But the second that we start politicizing it, the second that you start trying to actually take your religion into bureaucracy and create law, that's when I have a problem with it. That's whenever I'm upset. Because I don't want to see your absolute authority imposed onto me. If that's what you want to do and you want to operate under your religious law as a subsection to American law, then great. But American law supersedes your authoritarian law or your authoritative law, right? So whatever faith you believe in, that's secondary. That's a secondary law to American law in my eyes. The democracy comes first. The republic comes first. So by all means, practice whatever you want to practice. But don't, and I mean don't, try to impose it on the rest of the country because that's what you believe. That's not fair. That's bullshit. The only type of bureaucracy and laws that we should be trying to pass are ones that are going to benefit the American people. Look, and you got this guy, Asmund Gold, saying, because Islam is seen as non-Western and a non-white religion, you might think that's too retarded to be true, which means it's almost certainly true. Ideological leftism should be opposed to Islam, but it's not because leftist values are derived from optics, not principles. No, it's because as a liberal, I believe that all people deserve life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, right? Let's look up the real definition of liberalism. Willingness to respect or accept behavior or opinions different from one's own or openness to new ideas. The holding of political views that are socially progressive and promote social welfare. 2. A political and social philosophy that promotes individual rights, civil liberties, democracy, and free enterprise. The doctrine of the Liberal Party or the... Okay, yeah. Anyways, y'all get the gist. So The real root word of liberalism, the real like what it means is this: it's a political and social philosophy that promotes individual rights, civil liberties, democracy, and free enterprise. All we're saying is that we want to promote these 4 things. I don't give a fuck about your religion. I don't care about your religion. I don't want to fucking focus on your religion. All I care about are these simple rights. And we will protect all of those things under the Constitution, under the democratic institution that is America. All of your religious shit, that could be that could wait till Friday. That could wait till Sunday, whatever day you practice what you preach, right? That can be left up to the individual. That's what the whole freedom of religion thing is. But your religion does not supersede America and its government at all. And people have to be in, I guess, power or have some position of authority to be able to remind motherfuckers of that we don't want to see religious law imposed on us as actual policy. Leave that shit at fucking church. That's all we're saying. So again, whether or not you're liberal or you're a conservative, if you want to hate gay people, then hate gay people. If you want to be oppressive towards women, be oppressive towards women, but keep that shit at your fucking church, bro. Because at the end of the day, our democracy does not run the way that your church or mosque or synagogue operates, okay? So, like I said, keep that shit out. And most people, they'll be like, oh, well, no, it's because liberals, they're just hypocrites, man. They're going to defend gay people and defend women, blah, 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 when it suits them. But then they support Muslims, which goes against all of those things that they're trying to defend. No, I can still try to defend women's rights. I can still try to defend gay rights. I can still try to defend abortion rights while telling people that they can still practice what they want to fucking practice. I'm also an advocate for the freedom of religion. So just because you believe in something, right, doesn't mean that I still get to tell you, like, I don't, because you're Islamic, right, and you might hate gay people, doesn't mean that I automatically have to hate the person that's Islamic because I support gay people. That doesn't make sense. Everybody is redeemable, though. Everybody deserves to have a conversation. Everybody deserves to be talked to like a human. Everybody deserves the chance to voice their opinion.
The one
Look at
thing
these
that I
fucking
can
losers.
get with the most is pro-life, pro-gun, pro-Trump, man. I mean, I think all this abortion and all that, what gender are you? I mean, that's just not right. I mean, God says in the Bible there's 2 genders. Am I right? Yeah. And I think that's what it should be. I think that's what it should be, to be honest with you.
I feel like just he's so truthful. And
Total chads.
Just my values, and I value that.
Right.
Bro, these are total frat boys that don't know what the fuck they're talking about, dude. Don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. Your president literally blamed Alex Preddy for having a fucking gun on him as the reason why he got shot. And said he didn't like guns like that. He didn't like people that had guns like that. You're pro-gun? Dude, and then at the end of the day, dude, pro-life, who gives a single shit? Let people do what the fuck they want to do with their bodies. Stop trying to fucking control them. Let them fucking be. Why are white men so pent up on controlling women and controlling what they do with their bodies? Controlling what somebody does with themselves. Somebody that you'll never meet in your entire life. You will never meet these children, nor do you give a single fuck about any kid. You don't even give a shit about your neighbor's kid. You don't care about anybody. There's people that walk outside right now. I don't give a fuck about their family. I don't give a fuck about them. You do? You're telling me you care about every single individual child being birthed on this planet? Like, shut the fuck up, you stupid motherfuckers. That stuff does not belong in politics. I don't care what God said. God did not say that there were 2 genders either. Jesus recognizes a 3rd gender. He recognizes the eunuchs. Those who were born this way, those who made themselves this way, and those who do it for the duty of the faith. Why would he acknowledge eunuchs who were born this way? Nobody is born without a penis. He acknowledged the 3rd gender. But you motherfuckers are stupid and blind, and y'all don't even recognize that. Y'all don't want to see that because it doesn't fit your narrative. It doesn't fit your hateful, heinous ass views. It doesn't fit your control, patriarchal, masculine agenda that all of you little cucked ass motherfuckers want to do. All of these dudes are sucking each other off in the fucking frat house, bro. fucking losers, bro. I deal with these kind of motherfuckers when I Uber and drive around SMU motherfuckers all day. Stupid ass boys. Bro, these dudes literally are all wearing MAGA hats because their homies did it. There's not one in here that's a free thinker. There's not one person in this motherfucking video that can formulate a real thought on their own, that can actually think for themselves. These dudes have literally, these dudes are the product of grifting. These are the groypers that I talk about. All of the Nick Fuentes motherfucking followers, right? What the fuck is this shit? Look at these dudes, bro. I'm sorry, but
I mean, the one thing that I can get with the most.
The one thing that I can get with the most is
I think all this
bro,
bullshit
shut
and
up.
all that. What gender are you? I mean, that's just not right. I mean, God says in the Bible there's two genders. Am I right?
Who gives a shit?
I think that's
Why do people care? Why do you care whether or not somebody is gay and whether or not they aren't? Why does it matter whether or not a female likes another female? Why does it matter whether a male likes another male? Why are you so pent up on controlling that? Dude, you literally said that y'all want, people say they want to fight for freedoms. They want to fight for American values. You literally trying to control what one person does and how they go and pursue their love life is control, bro. You're literally impeding on their freedoms. You're impeding on their rights. Telling somebody what they can and what they cannot go do by telling them that they can't go, be boyfriends with a fucking boy, or a boy can't be with a boy or a girl can't be with a girl. Doesn't make sense, bro. Leave them the fuck alone. Let those people be. And then y'all motherfuckers want to fucking ostracize them on social media the second that one of them crashes out. Like the motherfucking Nazi shooter the other day that all you motherfuckers want to fixate on. Y'all just want to fixate the fact that he was a transvestite, right? Or he was trans. But y'all also want to, y'all just want to put that before the fact that he was a MAGA Nick Fuentes groiper. Right, that he was a neo-Nazi, white nationalist. Y'all don't want to fucking focus on that. The trans shit, that was secondary to that shit. But the news media and all of that didn't fucking cover it that way. No, they just covered it as another trans person crashing the fuck out. And it's because you people try to control them. People try to fucking create. Y'all literally have rallies hating on these types of people. Just leave people alone and let people be. And I promise you that they won't crash out. Could you imagine if gay people spent their entire lives trying to write policy saying that straight people, well, you can't be with a girl. A boy can't be with a girl. A girl can't be with a boy. That's not okay. No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to be okay. Could you imagine if they spent all day making schlop content hating on straight people? I'm sorry, man. This stuff just makes me mad, bro.
This includes ensuring a lasting...
Sleepy Donald. I thought it was Sleepy Joe in this bitch, bro. I thought I was looking at a video of Joe Biden. Not my leader. That's not my president. I know that ain't my boy Trump. Nah, bro. That's Joe Biden, bro. That's Joe Biden. Ain't no way, bro, that my boy Trump was asleep.
Phase of the Gaza peace plan.
Nah, bro. Not my boy Trump. Look at that. To my fucking rant earlier.
Women are made to be fucked, literally. That is what it is. Act potent. We are act, they are potential. They have eggs, we have sperm. Sexual act actualizes the potential, makes a baby. That is what they are made for. That they're made to be bred. They are made to have kids with. Okay, they exist for sex. Women exist for sex. That is why they are mothers, or they are whores, or they are nuns. End of list. Women are either mothers, whores, or nuns. No other options. There are no female philosophers. There are no female inventors. There are no female generals or billionaires. They are mothers, whores, nuns. End of list.
This dude, this is what I mean. He literally speaks pure nonsense. He's literally talking out of his ass. There are definitely female philosophers. There are definitely female inventors. There are definitely female billionaires. Shit, we have a Zionist one here in Texas that owns the Dallas Mavericks. The crazy ass psycho bitch wants to put up like $200 million to have Trump run a third term. The fuck are you talking about, bro? You're literally a dumbass. Literally fucking stupid. Hating on women, bro. and reducing women to literally just mothers, whores, or nuns. That is what you have reduced women to, and are convincing other men that women, that's their only function in society. That women were made to do that. If anything, buddy, I don't even know how women and men got here. I mean, I'm sure that y'all wanna go to your whole Christian beliefs and shit. Okay, God made them, but if you want to go scientific, we evolved from something that was asexual. Okay, women give life, dude. Women are life givers. They are the creators. They were not created to give life. They are the creation itself. They are the creator. It makes no sense that God is a man, everybody. It would make more sense that God is a female. I've never seen a man fucking birth out a baby. If that's the case, then God is basically a man that's also a female at the same time, right? He's a gender fluid. He's both sexes, right? I mean, how is God able to have a son if God is only a man? You ever ask yourself that question? Fucking idiots. The fact that you have reduced women to purely just nothing completely strips away all humanity from a woman, as if they're nothing, as if they're not a person, as if that's not a soul, as if they don't feel, as if they don't have emotion, that their sole purpose and duty is to make children, to have babies and get fucked. That is not a woman's sole duty. If she doesn't even want to do that, then she shouldn't have to. Women are human beings with a brain and with feelings, and are no less a human being than you as a man. You having a penis doesn't make you better. It doesn't give you more purpose in life. It makes you small, it makes you weak, and it makes you look fucking fragile, Nick. What a beta male take. That's the shit that losers spew. And whatever incel is listening to this motherfucker and agreeing with him about this being the sole role of women, then you're a fucking loser. You're a fucking beta male. You don't even deserve the right to reproduce. Your father wasted a nut on you. Your father meeting your mother was an accident to the entire existence of humanity. You are plague. You are disgusting. You are hateful. And you do this shit because you know it gets clicks. But it has no backing. It has no ground to stand on. It's complete, utter bullshit. And stupid motherfuckers eat it up all day long. Stupid motherfuckers are literally listening to this guy and like, you know what? Yeah, I love. He's got a point. Fucking idiots, man. And this is who y'all are listening to. This is who Tucker Carlson said was such an enigmatic figure that needed to be on his show. That has a couple of points. That's right all of the time. That's funny, right? That's a charismatic guy. That's who the fuck you're talking about. This fucking loser. This fucking incel. Fuck out of here, bro. Bunch of fucking idiots, man. Bunch of idiots. I swear, dude. This can't just piss me off, bro. It has to piss y'all off as well. Looks, yeah. Pete Heck says Pentagon prayer service featured far-right pastor Doug Wilson, who believes women should not be allowed to vote and openly embraces pedophiles. Like I said, this guy literally said because Jesus Christ was friends with thieves and murderers is why he's friends with pedophiles, and does say that women should not be allowed to vote. So you have a overwhelming majority of these far-right neo-Nazi motherfuckers that are just complete misogynists and haters to women. They are fearful that they have lost their power, and they are doing anything that they can to take it back. That's what they want. They want the patriarchy back. They don't like that women think for themselves and women don't need men anymore. That's the scariest thing to men, is the fact that women don't need them anymore. So much so that a lot of you lonely motherfuckers are sitting at home in your mom's basement right now playing fucking Fortnite at 35 because you've never fucking been with a woman or you haven't had a girlfriend in fucking 10 plus years because you don't know how to speak to a girl because you're a fucking loser. Bitch boy. Bunch of bitch boys. Fuck, man.
Is negative. You deport 10 million. Why are you not getting mass deportations?
Let's see.
We're doing it.
Nick Fuentes lying once again and claiming Trump ordered an end to mass deportation. Net migration is negative for the first time in the country. The border has been completely shut down. 3 million removals and self-deportations in the first year. Silence claim being denied. Hey, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Nick Fuentes. If Trump brings us to war in Iran, you can forget about 2026 and you can forget about a ticket with Vance or Rubio in 2028. Yeah, the last thing that America wants right now is a fucking war with Iran. You motherfuckers need to stop trying to stir the pot. Like literally, Trump is like, oh yeah, give it 10 days. If they don't concede, then we've been surrounding them. Literally, words out of his mouth. I don't want to listen to fucking Fuentes. Sure.
We did receive information suggesting that the federal government did not shut down this segment. Number one, that is my understanding that the federal government didn't shut this down, and we will do an official statement once we get another official statement that we anticipate is going to be coming from Paramount. All right, so we will read what they say, and then we'll go from there. It is our understanding that Colbert, either Mr. Colbert or CBS, decided that they would skid on Paramount, and this was because of a fear that the FCC may say something to them, and that there may have been advice to just have me on, and then they could clear the issue. It was my understanding that someone somewhere decided we just don't want to do that, and instead we're going to just do it this way. We did receive information.
That could be partially because of like maybe a left agenda. Maybe they're trying to sway the Texas people to vote more Tallarico. Who knows, man? Maybe left-leaning elites see what's going on in Texas, see the potential of a flip, and see him more as the stronger candidate. So they did anything that they could to just give him screen time. Who knows? It's definitely something to give attention to. Jesus Christ. So much Nick Fuentes bullshit on my timeline right now. Sickest people in the world because they're lazy. We are sick because ultra-processed foods dominate our diet and because the government misled the public about diet, what drives disease.
And it's about 40 cents out of every tax. When my uncle was president, I was a 10-year-old kid. We spent zero on chronic disease in this country, zero. Today, we spend $4.3 trillion a year. And it's about 40 cents out of every tax dollar that is paid by you to the federal government is now going to treat chronic disease. And it's unsustainable, and it's getting worse every year. So,
and do you find that it falls more on it's the responsibility of the individual, we're not taking care of ourselves, or is it that we have a health system that is allowing, I don't want to just say foods and drugs, but allowing things into us that is not maintaining our natural health?
I mean, individuals have a responsibility, but the obesity, when I was a kid, 5% of children were obese.
Yeah, you had one kind of fat kid in your class.
Yeah, and today it's 15%. It's going, overweight is 40%. Adults, it's even higher.
Well, we should just have a thick military then, I think.
But people did not get, Americans did not get obese because they're indolent or lazy or they don't want to do exercise. They got that way because they're being mass poisoned. And they're being mass poisoned because the government lied to them and it lied about the food.
Yeah.
Now 70% of the food that our kids eat is ultra processed food, and it's just poison. It's not food, it's just poison.
And which agencies allowed that? I mean, the EPA puts labels on the FDA.
Yeah.
Fuck the FDA, bro. These motherfuckers will allow some of the craziest kinds of like chemicals to pass regulation, man. It makes no sense. Have y'all ever like looked at the back of ingredients, dude? Like sometime like last year, dude, I got like really like conscious about what I was putting into my body, you know what I'm saying? Like I just felt like shit all of the time, dude. So I started like turning things around and I would just like look at like, dude, like things like frozen fries, right? You know, it's like sometimes you don't want to cut up the fries and batter them and fry them up and do all of that extra shit. It's just easy to get a frozen thing of fries, right? They're just potatoes. You look at the back, bro, it's like 30 fucking ingredients. And it says it contains bioengineered product. Almost every generic product at Walmart has bioengineered product in it as well. So a bioengineered food product or whatever it is. HEB is all right. Kroger got some. But dude, you really do got to look at the back of things, man. I made spaghetti like last night, right? And I went to the HEB, and I'm just like looking at ingredients, looking at pasta, and then I finally got to the sauces, right? I usually do everything pretty natural, but I get to the sauces and I look at the back of one. It's like $3.50, right? I'm like, okay, this one looks good, but I look at it and it has like 25 ingredients, and of course it's made in the U.S. Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, dude, I don't want all this ultra processed bullshit. Like it doesn't even. Like it should just be like tomato sauce. It should just be this. It should be that. It should be simple. It should be like 10 ingredients at the very max. And then I look at to the right, there's one for like $5 that's made in Italy. Dude, literally 5 ingredients. You know what I'm saying? And it's a whole different shade of like red. I was like, man, this shit looks a lot better. And it tasted a hell of a lot better. So like us in America, we're just not putting like real food into our bodies anymore. We do put in an overwhelming amount of ultra processed bioengineered food product inside of our system, and it makes us sick. It's making us get cancer. It's making us get diabetes. It's making us become obese. It's literally causing the whole country to get sick. People back in the day didn't get like this, man, because they had all natural food. And nowadays you don't even know what's natural and what's not anymore. It's gotten bad. I mean, I looked at like, was comparing like 90s labels to like labels from today, and like, things like Cheez-Its, bro. Cheez-Its went from being like, I don't know, like 7-8 ingredients to like 32. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same food that you're eating. Kraft mac and cheese, not the same food that you were eating back in the day. You know what I'm saying? All of the stuff that you're putting into your body, they constantly are going to cut it and cut it and cut it with cheaper product so they can get richer and get richer and get richer. Anytime that they can save a dime, they will. Even if it's at the cost of your life. You know what I'm saying? These people are evil. They're still corporatists and capitalists, man. They're still evil bastards that only care about turning a profit. They don't care about me or you. They don't care about giving us the healthiest product. They don't care about making sure that me and you aren't getting sick. They just want to turn a profit and get you to buy more and more and more, which is why, things like Cheetos are, they're supposed to be addicted. That's why you go for usually you eat the whole bag at once, right? Like hot Cheetos, the Red 40 and all that shit. It's known to be a little bit addictive. You go back and you go back and you go back for it. That shit's horrible. And to the point where you're fucking, obese with diabetes and you're borderline you borderline got blood cancer and shit because of all the Red 40 you put into your body. Oh, that Red 40. Nasty. Disgusting. All right, man. Damn, it's already 3:23, bro. I gotta dip. Oh yeah, I'll play this little clip.
On the verge of
Look at this
becoming
fucking piece of shit.
Are themselves on the verge of becoming friends of pedophiles.
Right.
And this is the thing. They're going to be 5 years from now friends of pedophiles as pedophiles. I'm a friend of pedophiles as a preacher of the gospel that will bring them out of that grotesque sin. Right. So I'm a friend to pedophiles because Christ was a friend to sinners.
Right.
But the thing I'd return to
Fuck you,
themselves.
dude. Fuck you, Doug. You're a fucking piece of shit, dude. You fat motherfucker. I can't stand him, dude. Literally over here. defending pedophiles, neo-Nazi, and claims he's a pastor. Just get Trump is weighing an initial limited strike on Iran to force Tehran to meet his demands for a nuclear deal. Oh man, let's see if the article will pull up. President Trump is weighing an initial limited military strike on Iran to force it to meet his demands for a nuclear deal, a first step that would be designed to pressure Tehran into an agreement but falls short of a full-scale attack that could inspire major retaliation. That's not good. The first limited strike option, which hasn't been previously reported, signals Trump might be open to using military force not only as a reprimand for Iran's failures to make a deal, but also pave a way for a U.S.-friendly accord. One of the people said Trump could ratchet up his attacks, starting small before ordering larger strikes until the Iranian regime either dismantles its nuclear work or falls. We'll have to update you guys on that one, man. That's going to be definitely a developing story over the course of the next couple of days. So we'll be definitely touching on Iran. We'll definitely be touching on Epstein a little bit more. We'll be definitely touching on the entirety of the news a little bit more. Because this is what we do now. This is the new thing, bro. Hanging out with your boy Aaron, discussing and talking and begging the question, not just accepting, shit for face value, bro. Dissecting, all of the information and formulating a real opinion here. And I think that's the whole goal of what we're doing. But anyways, man, I gotta go to class. You guys, thanks for hanging out with me. I'll catch you guys next time.